Hey guys, welcome back to Angela, and on this quick podcast, I wanted to talk to you guys about the narcissist trip to the future. The narcissist trip to the future. So a lot of you guys might not realize the big role that you play in the narcissist's life. Not only for your own healing, you come across these type of people, but it also shows a reflection of who you might have been, what others might have been to you, and who you do not want to be, right? That's what the narcissist does. And some people, go back to the past and, and examine the people around them and generations of the people behind those people, and they come to a realization that life isn't as bad, and they continue that generational curse. For every narcissist, there is a lesson that is learned. And no matter how much you want to deny this, these people that once had control over your life, in order to close that chapter, you have to find yourself going back to the past in order to go to the future, right? So you will contact these people. You will let time pass by thinking maybe they'll change. You'll give them space, hoping that they will appreciate your time and your presence. And when you come back around, you notice that they don't really care. Or if they discard you and they come back around, you realize that, they love bomb you, and they quickly love bomb you to go back to how things used to be. The fact that the narcissist keeps returning to the past, which is you, when they're leaving, they're telling you, hey, I played you. I'm going to the future. I found something better, something newer, someone that's going to, not see the version of me that you've seen and others have seen. This person believes this new version of myself. And if this person believes that new version of myself, then I can move on to the future. I can move on to the future. I don't have to think about you. I don't have to think about my past, my trauma. I don't have to think about the people that are supposedly jealous of me. The narcissist will put the blame on others, right? But they won't accept how they treat others. They won't even accept how they treat you. They'll just feel like you should just deal with their traumas of their past. You should just deal with it. You should be happy that they care about you enough to be in your presence. And, you should just know that their behaviors come from their past, and you should just accept it because you already took that role to accept them for who they are. You've already said that you love them unconditionally. That's what the narcissist is seeking. They're seeking unconditional love, even though they're not willing to give it back. And once that they start to see that the love starts to turn to hate, because that's what they're studying you initially. They're like, eventually you're going to hate me anyway. Relationships aren't perfect. It doesn't matter how perfect you are. Eventually things turn left. And I'm not going to be the person to be controlled by you or by love. What's love got to do with anything? So the narcissist will look at the empath as someone who hates them, and they really feel that way because they hate you. They hate you for accepting the abuse. They see that as weakness because they are searching to become the same type of form of energy of who they've mimicked and who they've copied, and they see those people as seeing someone like you, someone emotional, as someone to pity. And they start to look at you as if any type of value that you've ever had does not exist because they feel like now they see you for who you are. And initially, they're seeing you as a version of themselves. You're actually mirroring back to them what they've done to others, how they've made others feel. You're saying the same things that others have told them. So you're the same. They're searching for someone that's not like the people that have helped them. Someone the opposite of help. That's what they're really searching for. They're searching for that acceptance of that type of energy. So they see parts of themselves in you and they want to almost act like they're not. They're the opposite from you. They don't feel anything. They're numb. You know, they're mimicking what they felt others do to them. And then they're like, you should just accept it. And if you accept it, then you just deserve it because it's happened to them and many others, and they feel like it's happened in worse ways. And, you're looking at someone who is only thinking of life from their point of view. They can't relate to anyone else. So if they can't relate to anyone else, then anything that you say to these people, they will find it offensive. They will find it as if you're trying to attack them. If you project onto them what they're projecting onto you, they won't like it. They won't like to be treated the way that they treat you, and you'll see that they don't treat everyone like that. So that means that they're telling you that you'll never have control over them, yet they're trying to have control over you. And, when I say that the narcissist, is living in the future, I don't mean it as in, they've left you behind and you really believe that this person has changed or they're doing better, or you haven't heard from them, so they're obviously doing better, or they don't, they gaslit you and they talk bad about you to flying monkeys. So they must be doing great, right? They're in the future. You're stuck in the past trying to rebuild yourself. You're stuck in the past trying to put the pieces, make sense out of things, figure out who you are all over again, who you want to be, where you've been, what others have been. And from the knowledge that you know now, you will look back and you realize that you might have thought you had some type of understanding and knowledge back then, but you didn't, not in the way that you do now. So you realize that other people around you knew more than you. So you will go back into your past and relive certain situations because certain things didn't add up to you, or certain things, the way people looked at you, you realize, that you were that person that everyone knew will not stand for something, which is stand for themselves. So you will look back at different events and you will realize that, sometimes you'll think to yourself, if I was the person who I am today, then if I went back, things will be different because, things will change between the narcissist or family, friends. You think going back to the past will change the present or change the future. So you will go back to the past. You'll go to people that knew people that have hurt you. You'll go back to the past searching for answers, almost like you're investigating a crime of a dead person, only that dead person is you, basically. And you're going back thinking that you can resurrect that person, bring them to life, and let others know that that person's not dead, they're alive, only to find out that those people wanted that person dead, based on the fact that you're trying to mirror onto them what you're seeing, something that they're unable to see. So this is why you're being attacked. And these people will make you believe that they're in the future. And that's part of the deceitful ways of a narcissist. So anytime you go back to the past, to these people that are not spiritually awake, It's like you're waking up the dead. When you're with a narcissist and they're coming back into your life, they're searching for something. This is a dead person searching for something. This is why they won't leave you alone. But they're very good at deceiving you into believing that they're in the future. And if you keep accepting this, the narcissist will wake up. They go from being unconscious to now they become conscious of their actions, because you have woken up a sleepwalker. You have fed into the sleepwalker's fantasy, their dream. So now what happens when you wake a sleepwalker is that they will either try to harm you, harm themselves, or harm others. So this is what happens when you're allowing these narcissist sleepwalkers into your life, and they will deceive you into thinking that they're living in the future right along with you. And a lot of times, if you look back, you realize that the narcissist was dead when you met them. So this is why they fed off of you. They set up that whole scene. And you're like, oh, maybe it's just coincidence. But no, they set it up. So then you start to see those people and you're like, oh, are they narcissists? They have to be narcissists, because they're not looking within themselves to be able to understand others. So it's a whole bunch of trapped people, a whole bunch of people that are trapped. Yet it seems like they're living in the future and they've left you behind. That's what it seems like, right? That's what it seems like. Narcissist leaves. It seems like they're living in the future with the new supply, But as you know it, in order to go to the future, you have to go back to the past. You have to go back to the beginning. The narcissist never wants to go back to the past. This is why when you talk to narcissistic people about the past, or you bring up things, they get uncomfortable. They don't want to talk about it. They're like, I don't want to talk about it. Change the subject. And you're like, it's not a big deal. This is a regular conversation. And they're like storming on off, or they're telling you they don't remember, or they're telling you they lost their memory. Now they're playing like they have Alzheimer's, They'll deny your version of what happened because it will make them look within who they were at that moment and who they are in the present moment. And even though you think they're living in the future, in their minds, they're living in the past. They don't want you to believe that. But this is why a lot of times you'll see that the narcissist has trouble sleeping, or they have to sleep with noise, or they're talking in their sleep, or it seems like they're always having nightmares. And then when they wake up, they're blaming it on you. They're like, I just had a nightmare, something to do with you. And you're like, you're like, yeah, it couldn't be me. I haven't done anything to you. It's like watching a movie before you go to sleep, and then you start dreaming about certain things that happen in that movie, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, thank God that was a dream, because that movie really got in my head. I was thinking some crazy stuff. The narcissist doesn't want to go to the past, so they're stuck in the past in their minds, and they want you to believe they're not. This is why they try so hard to make you believe that they're happy in the present time with their materialistic things, and it's a whole image that they're portraying to be strong all the time. But you were really that strength in that narcissist's life. You were what was keeping them alive. This is why every time they went off into the sunset, into the future, they came back. Because the universe wanted to give them a taste of what they could have. But first they have to go back to the past. And because the narcissist refuses to go back to the past, they have to continue lying, stealing, cheating, because they don't want to go through the pressure. They don't want to go through the karma. They're like, what's the point on karma? I'll look karma in the face when it's happening to me in front of me. And I'll look karma in the face over and over again. This is why they might tell you that they're happy, because they're like, hey, I look karma in the face all the time. I'm living in the future. Look at me. Look at my nice car. Look at me. NASCAR, fast car, So you're thinking that they're driving on by and they're waving to you with the new supply, or with, family and friends and stuff like that. But in reality, they're living in hell because There's always some type of drama, conflict. There's always something happening in these people's lives. And it will seem like they're happy and you'll want to be with them, or you'll think like things could have been different. But in actuality, as lonely as alone as you might feel, deep down, you know that you're headed towards the future, the real future, and that you already went back to the past and you realized what you needed to know, and that narcissist opened that door in a way, and you'll feel thankful to the narcissist in some type of sick way. But in reality, if it wouldn't have been that person, it would have been someone else, because there was a lesson in that. You were supposed to learn something, because this time it's your time, and your time you're going to do it your way. So this time it's your way, and it's going to be your way or the highway. And if those people want to take the highway, then, let them take the highway, because eventually their car is going to stop. They're going to get a flat tire. They're going to be on a mission that's mission impossible. And when they're going to the future, and it seems like they're going to the future, they're going back to the past. They're actually leaving you to go be with the same person that put them in the same position that they are in when they met you. And that's the spirit that they're going to. And this is why they keep coming back. And then they want you to believe that you don't have a chance to go into the future and change your life or live happy. They try to put things in your head about age, or just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Like they'll tell you, no one will ever want you and things like that. But trust me, if you get your stuff together and you don't focus on these people, and you attract your tribe, and your light attracts the light that you've been searching for, the real light. This person came and dimmed your light. So once you find people that actually feel you, and they're pulling you into the future the right way, you will see that the narcissist, it was a facade, and it continues to be a facade. And it's going to be a facade even when you leave. And they're just going to continue the same cycle, because the narcissist at this point, when they become conscious, they realize that they only have one role, and that's to wake empaths that come across them up. So anyone that comes across a narcissist, because the narcissist is searching for people, they're going to certain places looking for people, they're going online looking for people. So the narcissist will always feel like, especially when they go into relationships trying to break up people's relationships. So when the Jezebel spirit is portraying to be your friend and they're trying to sleep with your partner, all these things that they're doing, they're trying to skip steps. So they try to use the empath to skip steps because they want what you have, but they always end up, knowing that how they got the person is how they're going to lose the person, and they don't care. This is why they have a I don't care attitude, because they're still looking for someone else, and they're going to continue living their life like that until they come across the wrong people that put them on drugs, heavier drugs, put them in new addictions, new things that they're going to feel like, the narcissist is going to feel like they're in the future, because they're going to feel like they're getting everything they ever wanted, fame, money, sex. They're going to feel like they're getting everything they ever wanted. So it's a high to them. But we as empaths know that you have to go to the past to go to the present. And because they haven't done that, and they haven't dealt with their demons, their karma, we know that eventually they're going to fall. You already know that. You're like, oh, they're on their high horse, but they're going to fall. And when they fall, they're not going to have a choice but to look at the past. So they're going to look at the past, and they're going to be upset because they were like, I was just touching my dream. It was supposed to make me happy. How did I mess it up? How did I mess my own dream up? And that's because the universe wanted them to get a taste of what they've always wanted. And the universe is trying to teach them that, hey, you have to go back to the past. So this is why sometimes certain narcissists, they'll come back just to apologize. And then eventually, even if after they apologize, they know that they can't fully they can't fully look into the future because they've created so much damage that they basically know they almost have to sacrifice themselves and parts of themselves. And a lot of them, they're not willing to do it. So they're willing to, do that highway, chase. They're basically running away on this highway chase. And it's like, dude, we have cameras all over the place. We have satellites. We have helicopters fall. We see you. You're just watching them running at this point. That's all that's happening. So when you're seeing them running into the future, they're running into the future. They can't stay there. They're running, and they feel like they can't look back. So that's why certain narcissists won't look back. You'll never hear from them again. And they get a satisfaction of just knowing they never apologize. So a lot of times you're like, you're waiting on that apology or, but you shouldn't even want that apology because it's not going to be a changed behavior. To them, it's like, if I apologize, and you forgive me, then my karma is over. My debt with you is over. That's all that's going to make the narcissist feel like. This is why they'll come back bearing gifts and everything. They're just like, I'm only doing this so that I can go back to the future. So they'll come back and they'll say things to you like, I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just young. And you're like, I was younger than you. What do you mean you were old? I'm at the age where I met you and you were old. You knew what was going on. I didn't know. I was not even conscious. You were conscious. That's what makes the narcissist so much sinister. And this is what keeps them from going into the future. And that's because they don't even want to take that type of accountability. They can't go into the future. This is why a lot of times it seems like you're dealing with a person that's older, but in the inside, it's like you're dealing with a child, like with a kid. And it's like we all have a playful kid side of us, right? We all have our inner child, but it's almost like it's the inner child who has taken over, and they've been like that for a very long time, and they don't understand why they're like that, and they want to understand like they're like that, and they try to pretend like they're not like that, but you could just see through them. And this is why the narcissist will try to make you believe that they've went into the future and they grew up. They're basically telling you, I grew up. See, I grew up. I'm being a grown-up with someone else. It took me to be with the grown-up to be a grown-up because you were letting me do whatever I wanted to do. That's that mentality that they have. So it doesn't matter if they apologize to you because they're always thinking they're outsmarting you. Like even when they're at their lowest. So these are people that, they're stuck mentally somewhere else, you have those narcissists that it seems like they're successful, they when it comes to working and stuff like that, they're intelligent people, because they're always looking to the future. They're like, what's the next best thing? What's the next best thing? They're okay with getting bad karma because they're like, wait, I'm on a highway run. I don't care. I don't have anything to lose. Right? So yeah, you have narcissists that it seems like they have it all together. But if you actually were to live with these people and see how they treat their kids, their families, you'll see that it's all an image. They'll sit there and say, hey, let's all, wear, sweaters and take a picture together and portray this image. It's always an image of what a family or, what it's supposed to look like versus the reality of it. So they're always going to make you feel like they're in the future. So if you're dealing with a low-grade narcissist, they're going to make you feel like the new supply is better, and that new supply mentally, they're not there. They're not there. It doesn't matter what kind of job, what they drive. None of those things matter, because they don't have anything of value to give the narcissist in order for them to actually grow. The narcissist is just looking at what that person has. But guess what? If the narcissist drains that person and that person loses it all, that person might not be able to recover from that situation and look into the future, because they've never been put in this situation and they don't even know how they even got there, and they don't have it in them to build themselves up. Sometimes they'll have people around them who force them to pick themselves up. But what happens when they don't have those people to pick themselves up? And what happens when those people that are picking them up are helping them, but the narcissist is like, I'm not done destroying you. So they keep coming back for that person, and they're basically kidnapping that person and going on a highway chase. And they're like, I'm going to stop you from fulfilling your dreams and your future. And now you're going on this high speed run, and people are mad at this person. Why did you leave with this narcissist knowing they're bad? And you're thinking they're not that bad. They love you because they came back for you while they're on this high speed chase. And really, they're taking you as hostage, as bait. They're like, drive fast. They're including you. They're including you in their crimes. So this is why you start getting bad karma. And that's what the narcissist does to people. And then they take those people to the past, and those people will start recalling traumas, things that, people around them told them, narcissists in their life, people that they feel like there's no point on going to the past, so those people will start to resent that empath, because they're like, we've been trying to help you. You weren't even looking into the past until the narcissist made you look into the past. But the fact that you don't want to leave the narcissist alone says that there's something that's, whether that narcissist is around or not, there's something that's keeping you from being present in the future. So even if you go into the future and accomplish certain things, you're not really present. And you're not really present because you don't really know what peace and inner peace really is. So the narcissist will act as if they're in the future so that you can't evolve, so that you can stay stuck mentally in that time frame. And they know the longer you stay there, the longer you stay in that position, the longer it's going to be, it's going to feel like the pressure is going to be too much. And then you're going to feel yourself drift away, and it's going to feel like the future is happening, but you're still living in the past. And the narcissist wants you to feel that way because that's how they feel. That's how they feel. So they're like, okay, let's see if you can. They become competitive with you. It's like, okay, I brought you down to my level. Now let's see who wins. That's all it is with a narcissist. And the fact that they keep coming back and they keep showing you that they don't really have anything to show, that's enough evidence to let you know that everything about them is a facade, and they're never going to experience true happiness and peace in the future, and feel a true feeling of accomplishment, because they will always know that they cheated their way to the top, and that will always haunt them. So it doesn't matter if they're trying to have a vacation, they're not going to have that peace they want on that vacation. Something's going to happen. Something wrong is going to happen. And they know what it is. This is why they have certain phobias. That's why they're afraid of certain things or heights. There's always a fear in the narcissist, and that's because they're fearful of going back to the past. So always know when these people take off, they're going to be forced to the past eventually. And when they are forced into the past, don't look back. Don't look back. Because if you look back, then you will be taking yourself back to that past. And they will try to lure you back in. And it's going to feel like a soulmate feeling if you're not aware of it, but it's not a soulmate feeling. It's someone pulling you back to that time, or someone that left you frozen in time, waking you up in that state of frozenness. This is why they don't give you closure. They want you to be frozen. So you have to make sure that if you wake up, you see things for what they are. You see them for who they are. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to what they said before they left. Pay attention to what you're looking at, what's right in front of you, and make peace with it and move on from it. So I hope that this message, you guys, was helpful for your healing. I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, and peace. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. And if you guys want to book a session with me, my information is on the description box. As always, give me 24 hours and I will talk to you guys on the next podcast. Love you guys. Bye.